Welcome to the Midlife Pilot Podcast. We are glad you're with us. What is it like to become a pilot in your 40s and 50s? The challenges are unique for those of us in midlife, but so are the rewards. Hosts Ben, Brian, and Ted talk learning to fly, growing as pilots, and the joy of flying to destinations. The purpose of the podcast is not to teach, but to share knowledge and experiences of being a midlife pilot. Join the Midlife Pilot community and listen in every week. We are not CFIs or particularly intelligent, so if you want to learn how to fly, talk to anyone else other than the hosts of a podcast. Even this intro was too challenging for us, and we used a robot to do it. Okay, checklists are complete. Let's get the show started.
Hello and welcome to the Midlife Pilot Podcast, where we share the experiences and challenges of flying in midlife. Whether you're a seasoned pilot, training for a rating, or just thinking about getting started in aviation, we like to think of the podcast as your aviation companion and your weekly dose of aviation inspiration. Tonight, we're going to talk about life. Just life. Information whiskey. Talking about what's going on here. My name is Ben. I am a private pilot with an IFR rating, actually a commercial pilot. I demoted myself, apparently. I'm a commercial pilot with an IFR rating and aspirations to one day get a multi-engine rating. Not sure if that'll ever happen. I fly a Cessna 182 we like to call the Beast. Joining me tonight, my friends, a private pilot in Nashville. He lives in the home of the Bachelorette of Super Charlie. He flies a Cherokee 180 named Lucy. He is right there in the heart of Music Row. It's our talented friend, Mr. Brian Siskin. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Glad to see everybody. I see we got some spotted cow going on and some other things. So, yeah, it's pretty exciting. I love a good information whiskey. It's when we can kind of we can step back from the very really tightly wound formatted structure that we usually operate by and really take a step back.
Quite the departure.
Yeah.
Quite the departure. Also joining us, he's a sport pilot extraordinaire. He's based in Portland, Oregon. He flies a flight design CTLS. We like to call it the Egg. He's the one that's drinking the spotted cow. It's our friend Ted. How you doing, sir?
You chose Portland instead of Portlandia this time.
Yeah, I got to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm doing well.
I'm glad to hear that.
It was supposed to be super, super hot here. The good news is it isn't, because there's so much wildfire smoke that it dropped the temperature by about 10 degrees.
Oh, wow. So, it's false fall here in Georgia. It was high of 81. It's been absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Get to more of that in a minute. Also joining us tonight, it's our super secret guest host, the man behind the scenes and a lot of the things that we do. He is a commercial pilot. He flies it's one of those Cherokee variants, Cherokee 235 probably. It's a bigger engine, but the prop kind of stays where it is. But he's our friend. He does so much for our podcast, and we're really glad to have him back on board with us. It's our friend Wendell Geek, also known as Wendell.
Yes, that's true. Much thanks to you, actually, for that. But the Cherokee 235 was intended to be a competition to the Cessna 182 and didn't succeed at that.
But spoiler alert, it's still maybe debated occasionally, I guess. I don't know. Glad to have you with us. So tonight we're going to just do a kind of catch up on things. Hear what everybody's been up to. Got a few announcements, maybe a couple of Patreon members. I think we got one in there, but why don't we go around the horn and catch up? I know there's been a couple of videos released by two people or three people actually on this podcast. Me, not I'm the alone one out there, but let's hear what everybody's been up to. Why don't we start to it's my left, I think. Ted, you released a couple of videos here, I think, or is it just one?
Just one. Technically just one since we last recorded. And that was the Palouse video about the Palouse being my happy place. And
right.
How it reminded me of motorcycling there a million years ago and just that insanely beautiful terrain. So
it really is.
Yeah.
Didn't Microsoft use that as like a wallpaper, something in that area?
I know what you're thinking of. That
Windows XP desktop.
that hill.
Maybe that's what it was. It looked very
and then
familiar to
the
that.
sound from it just comes to mind automatically. I don't know how many.
Yeah.
This podcast is running on Windows XP.
So, any other flying since then?
Yeah. I did one flight so I flew with a guy who's a controller in Portland, and we had a great time. And then the following weekend, I'd just taken off 150 miles from here, and I'm in a, let's see, what is that? Is that a Army, Navy? I don't know. It's a military Charlie, and I take off. I'm trying to get flight following, and it's usually really quiet there and everything else. And I'm under the ring of it, and I ask for flight following, and somebody says, "Hey, it's Ted," or "Hey, Ted." I don't remember which. And they never said anything else. But then I realized later it was my friend T, who's the controller, and he happened to be flying through that Charlie at the moment that I was climbing up. There were probably only 4 planes in the area when that happened. So it was really, really kind of fun when he texted me later on that. Then the other one was, I was coming back, and I was at the point where I am flying about a mile from Checkmate Berry's airport, where I could look down and see that they were having like whatever it's called, like Wings and Cars or whatever the car event is, on the runway. But I saw that I had heard actually on frequency, I had heard Dominic, and I didn't recognize the tail number, but I recognized his voice. And so we were coming from kind of 90 degrees opposite directions and headed completely opposite directions from each other. And we crossed over about 2 miles apart from each other. And he actually took a picture from his plane, and you could see mine is about 7 pixels in this picture. So we were that close. So it was, the same flight. And how fun is that when you start recognizing voices and tail numbers and all of that. So that was great.
Nice.
Enjoyed that video a lot, and I liked the parallel of there's a lot of us, or not, I'm not, but there's a lot of people in the community that are motorcycle people too. And there's some parallel between the motorcycling experience and the flying experience. So for you to have a happy place that you like to go fly, that also you have done an extensive amount of riding. And I don't think people realize how much of a motorcyclist you are or have been. But I just think that's cool that you have that sort of ground romantic experience with a place and this kind of aerial experience. It's really neat.
Yeah. And it made me look back through photos and think about, when there's 100 of us meeting at a farm and tent camping and everything else. And the one guy hits a deer and his motorcycle's on a trailer, and it's completely as far as away as you can get on the farm driveway. And you can still smell the deer from, like, that visceral smell, something you don't forget. But, I've done a lot of motorcycling. I've been above the Arctic Circle, and I've been below the equator.
Wow.
And I've gotten there from here in both cases.
It's funny to me because there's these different tangents. So we covered it a couple episodes ago. There's the creativity aspect that pilots have that's tangential to flying. There's the motorcycle aspect of it. And I think the only thing that I bring to the table is fly fishing. And I don't know of any other fly fishing pilots. So maybe that's not as tangential as I'd like to think that it is.
Do we have any? I bet we've got some people listening.
Maybe. I don't know.
Your hobby has the advantage of having fly in the name.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. That's another story for another day. But yeah.
Well, you're just flying the wrong plane in the wrong part of the country.
Yeah. There's probably that. That's probably what's contributing to my bitterness at this point in time.
There's a lot of, if you were out in Idaho or somewhere, this is what you'd be doing: backcountry flying and fly fishing.
Yeah, the 235 and the 182 are both known for being in the Idaho backcountry, right? Like, famously, planes that are taken into. Oh wait, no, it's just the one.
Yeah, no.
Hey Ben, what's your on a typical grass field? What is your takeoff roll?
About 600 feet, 700 feet.
pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I really think I'm just going to put this out there. Music City Stole is coming up in October.
Ooh.
And I will definitely be there. Everybody come out. It's going to be awesome. It's a really well put together event. They do an amazing job. It's, they got music and they got all these things going on.
And Stole. Yeah.
Yeah. They got all the things. I went last year and was amazed. Yeah. It was so cool. And I'm definitely going back this year. But they have a class for beginners, and Ben, I'm telling you, man.
Oh man.
You've already got the plane for it. I saw people doing it in, is it like Santabrias don't have flaps, right? Like it was, or a Champ or both. I can't remember. There were people just, failing miserably on the actual measurement scale, but still doing it and trying to do their best. And they would be in the same class with people that had really high performing planes, but just hadn't done it before. So it was really cool. I forget what they call it. Somebody can tell us, but
I'll look it up. I'll find the date.
I'm just saying, like, dude, if I had your plane, I would be doing that. I will. I would.
If the timing can work out, I will be up there.
Have you ever seen Piperzilla? Do you know about Piperzilla?
No.
This guy's got a Cherokee 180 that's just stoled out. And it is bonkers what he can do in that plane. But anyway, it got me thinking a lot of bad ideas. But
okay.
Is that X and X, that airport?
Yes, Music City, Gallatin, Tennessee, XNX. But anyway,
which is where Ben CFI Ben is. That's
right?
Correct.
Yep, he's been my instrument instructor for the amount of dual that I've gotten so far, but he's also been my tailwheel instructor.
Nice.
He's the one that got me into flying a Cub and trained me in that 140 and all of that. But okay, so yeah, Dominic's saying champs have slips, don't need no flaps. Exactly.
I think that he's just trying to brag that he just did his tailwheel training. The last couple of weeks.
Okay. Well, I guarantee he wasn't landing in 400 feet.
No.
And that was that's what made it so cool, is the person just had the worst possible plane to do what they were doing and did it anyway, because just the challenge. So anyway, I hope you guys, Ben, you should try to get up here for that. Mark, you should try to get up here for that. I think it's the weekend of the 10th or 11th, 12th, somewhere around there, October. It'd be awesome to have you guys.
If I'm not in Moab, Utah, I will be there.
Okay. Well, forget
nice brag.
Forget Tennessee if you're going out there. Yeah. So, but anyway,
it's up in the air. So, you haven't been flying. I was about to ask what you've been up to.
Yeah, I can tell you all the stories that I don't have. I've been in ground school, and then otherwise, I did enough flying last week to figure out that the push to talk was broken. So that was good. And then, I've got some trips that I'm planning though, where I don't really have the bandwidth in my life really to be doing these things, but I just realized that if I don't have something on the horizon to look forward to, that's a nice trip, then I'm just a shell of a human being at this point. So Ted, you know what I'm talking about, because you have to take one of these amazing trips every 6 to 8 days. So I am planning my next trip, which will be in October, to go from here to New Orleans, land downtown, pick up some friends that are visiting there from Marfa. My Marfa friends are going to be in New Orleans. I'm going to pick them up and fly them back to Marfa. I think we'll go through maybe Galveston or some other places on the way. And when you put people on the plane, you can charge prorated share. So it's pretty sweet. I'm like, hey guys, let's go. Where do you want to go? So anyway, I'm excited about what I have coming up. And I'll just, I think this is like a pretty midlife thing for a lot of us, where you get to a point where, you've just done a lot of the local area flying, and you really are trying to make these things count. On one hand, I need to be putting that money towards instrument rating and things like that. But at the same time, I have to be able to just go fly and do something that I want to go do just to get me to a place to have an experience I want to have. So, I just need some desert time, man. So I'm going to go check out in the desert in October for a minute.
Good for you. I cannot agree anymore wholeheartedly. It's been kind of a challenging time at work. And, I had kind of I have this, as you can see, as my title of this podcast. I'm a plain jinxer. I showed up for my lesson today from Multi and I was told that the plane is still not out of a 100-hour inspection. So I made a trip to PDK. I actually had an angel flight later that afternoon. And to add insult to injury, the patient, bless her heart, was delayed by about an hour meeting me when she was supposed to have. And so, that put everything behind. I did obviously make the podcast in time, but it was, you have the stress going in. Don't get theiritis.
Yeah.
Be safe. Go through your checklist. Do all the things. And if you're late, you're late. But it still has its amount of stress. But to your point, I did get a call from some of my college buddies and roommates. They're all meeting up in Moab the first weekend in October. And, I put it on the calendar and that did more for my mental mood. Whether I take the trip or not, I don't know. But just knowing that I have that to look forward to was pretty huge, to be honest with you. It really does kind of lighten up the spirit a little bit.
It does. You got to have something to look forward to. And honestly, it's as hard as we all work to have, especially if you are an owner of a plane or paying for a rental or, all the costs and all the studying and all the effort. Just go have some fun. Use it to do something that fulfills you as a person. And everything doesn't have to be a training mission. So everything's going to be you're going to learn something one way or the other on any trip you take anyway. So just welcome it.
That's right. So I had a pretty fun flight. It was pretty easy. I mean, I was really surprised today that the frequency wasn't just completely filled up. I thought, it was clear in a million everywhere in Georgia. It was cool temps. It was like the perfect day to fly. And it was very quiet on frequency today. First time flying south from PDK.
Did you check your frequency?
I did. I did a radio check. I did, actually. I called in like, is this thing working?
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
Yeah.
Because this is Atlanta and this is not how it's supposed to be. And he said, yeah, you're like the 12th person that's done a radio check because it's so quiet. He literally said that. So, but yeah, it was a easy flight down, 25 knot tailwind. Made the trip down there in an hour and 10 minutes and took almost 2 hours to get back. So it went directly from the north. So easy trip. I did VFR coming back up, and just because I haven't flown VFR in a long time, and learned something new. So if I had to fly around the Bravo to get back in time, I was going to be late for sure. So I filed VFR. It was clear at a million. And, praying that I was going to get cleared over the top of Hartsfield. I know the sector in which you have to request it. And I specifically asked the sector before, just like asked him if he heard if people are getting through. And this was the quietest frequency of all the Atlanta approach sectors that there is. So he was ready to chat me up about this. He was like looking for a conversation, basically. So I said, hey, do you know if any other planes are getting cleared over the top of Hartsfield? He goes, dude, he literally said, dude, if you're VFR, they're going to say yes. He said, IFR, we have a hard time getting through, but VFR all day long and twice on Sunday, because you should not have any problem whatsoever, blah, 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 be at 4,500. And I'm like, yeah, I rarely get told no. I said, but today's the one day I can't afford to go around the Bravo. So that's why I'm checking. He goes, oh. So anyway.
So he's like, be at 3,500, 4,500, 5,500, 6,500. 7,500.
Actually,
8,500?
No. There's two altitudes VFR, 4,500, 5,500. That's all you could be at.
For over
Then they have
Hartsfield?
to fly over the top.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, only those two.
I'm feeling very triggered because I was flying and I was descending at like 100 feet a minute for like 4,000 feet that I needed to descend. And I was flying a 357 heading, and I was advised that I couldn't be flying that at 9,500. And I was like, oh, technically I'm not. I'm descending very, very, very slowly. He had traffic like 40 miles away that he wanted to send at 95. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'll descend faster, like.
So this was pretty funny. When you come from the south, just south of McCollum, Cobb County International, as it's formally called, Romeo Yankee, is Dobbins Air Force Base. And they're a Delta, and their ceiling is at 3,600 feet. And I would say 99 times out of the 100, Atlanta's is going to coordinate and clear me through their Delta. Today, they said, you need to stay above 3,600 feet. You need to stay out of the Delta, which when you clear their Delta, you're on like a 2-mile final. If you're going
to slam dunk.
So I put the beast into the biggest slip, and I had
you didn't have your angel flight though, right?
I had the most fun. Like, I was worried about being here on time and doing this and work and all this. He said, I guess I got to keep you above. And I was like, yes, I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
And I literally went from 3,600 feet to 1,600 feet. And I never went above 120 miles an hour. And I just dropped it straight in. And there was a guy doing a practice RNF approach in, and he wanted to get me in front of them. And I just was in my happy place. That's like, please, this is what I need more of, is just good challenges like
Sure.
that.
And then you spent half an hour cleaning all the bugs off the side of the plane.
That's exactly. There was a lot on the windshield, but it was a lot of fun.
But those are the things you can do when you're solo or with a pilot passenger. You wouldn't do it on an angel flight for sure.
Or not with my wife.
Exactly.
Well, maybe I might do it with Terry, because I'm just teasing. I was gonna say, she's been kind of snarky with me lately, so I need to. But she hasn't been, and I can't really say that. But
yeah,
it was really a fun moment. So, why don't we hit our housekeeping real quick? And I think Brian, you've set a new record. Maybe we should take your time on this one. Maybe drink something.
I don't think so, man. Look, the last one was. I'm getting down below 30 seconds now.
Okay.
So, wait, now I'm getting a note that says to do something totally different than.
No, you're doing the scrub. You're the scrub, man.
Oh, scrub. I thought that was like a
scrub the housekeeping.
Yeah.
Instruction.
We talk in the private chat about housekeeping or belly scrub. So. Crossing the terms, right. Scrubbing the scrub.
I mean, honestly, at the point that we're murdering this so badly, we should probably just take it out. But I feel like we have to do something to vaguely remind people that we're actually trying to do a thing, and it takes effort and energy, and that people can do stuff. So, all right. All right. Mark, you got the timer ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. And we are grateful for all of you making this the best pilot community that we know of, a positive space where we share everything from training experiences, share personal minimums, tackle ownership challenges, review flight plans, and best of all, make new aviation friends. Connect with us. Join our Patreon community from $1 a month or do one-time annual Patreon, 25 cents per episode. Access exclusive content, including check ride debriefs, killing zone conversations, more. And the Discord, 10% supports Freedom Aviation Network's anti-human trafficking efforts. Watch us live on YouTube Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern. Share your stories or read all the messages, especially the flying stories. You might hear yours on the show. For everything Midlife Pilot Podcast, community feedback, merch, and more, visit midlifepilotpodcast.com. And I knew that was bad. Dad hats. I wanted to talk about the dad hats. I also wanted to mention that we have a new Killing Zone conversation in the Patreon. That was bad. Oh, sorry, man. I let you guys down. I got a little, I'm a little spun out. And also somebody was hovering the cursor in real time over the document as I was trying to read it. And it threw me off. Was that the intention? Okay, so you been?
No, no.
Penalty.
I would never.
Penalty.
So I haven't listened to it yet because I was at my top secret location last week, and you guys did a Killing Zone conversation.
Yes, we
Right?
did.
Yes, we did.
We had a really good time.
Yeah, it was especially poignant
Because
Yeah.
we advertised that we do them. That is officially our third one. Now we did some before that.
Yeah.
But officially speaking, that's our third Killing Zone conversation.
Yeah,
So,
which is 3 more Killing Zone conversations than you'll find anywhere else on the internet.
yes. And also they're implicitly endorsed. So,
That's
There
right.
we go.
yeah, take that.
Ted, any new supporters? Since
No new supporters, no new Discord.
Actually,
but
we do have one. I put one in there.
not in this document.
In 140. Oh, you know what?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's
see?
John M. We want to thank you for joining us on Patreon.
John M. Great.
Yes.
Did that happen between the doubleheader we just taped?
No, I spread it out. I just
okay.
I spread it out because
All right.
I don't
Well-
want us to sound like the losers that we actually are.
Well, and also I want to remind people, seriously, I mean, these check ride debriefs that Mark you've done are just incredible, and there's so many of them, and they're global. They're all different countries. They are all different types of tickets. I mean, It is unbelievable that what library is being built there. So if you're already in the Patreon and you just haven't taken advantage of all the stuff that's in there, please go and check it out because we've been putting in a lot of work, and Mark's been putting in a heck of a lot of work getting all of that done. And each one of them is an immersive deep dive into immediate debrief experiences for check rides.
And if you're curious about how a check ride in Australia goes, around the middle of September, we will have a debrief from someone from Australia.
Oh, you mean a week after now? Yes.
Yes.
Time travel.
We've got one feedback from Paul F, who you can tell he built his plane or he changed the number on it because he's Paul F and it's November something PF at the end. So always appreciate that. If you're going to build a plane, you should build it and put your initials in it. So, Brian, do you want to read that, or Ben?
Go ahead because I've lost it.
Okay, I will read it. It is from Paul F. He says, I appreciate your discussion of the new Mosaic rules. One issue that I think you have not considered is how the insurance industry will react to these new rules. Just because the FAA says it's legal doesn't mean your insurance will cover you if you want to, quote unquote, downgrade to just use a driver's license to fly. The new rules are wonderful, and I hope things really do get easier and cheaper to fly. But I know some older pilots that are required to get annual flight reviews and annual basic med physicals, not because FAA requires them, but because it's the only way insurance companies will write them a policy. I hope I'm wrong. Paul F., flying an RV 7A.
Yeah. Love the RV7s. Insurance, it's both true and untrue. I actually have a message into Avemco today about this, but they have not cared that I am a support pilot versus private pilot. They haven't cared about what level of medical. If you compared it to commercial, it would be different, I'm sure. And who knows what's going to happen because of Mosaic on flying more complex planes, right? A support pilot flying a 150, no big deal. A support pilot flying a 182, is that going to be a big deal? Is it not going to matter? Is it going to be the same as any other pilot with that number of hours flying a 182? So who knows, right? They make their own choices on how to handle it. And Mark and I have both talked. The numbers have been sliced differently by different people about the safety of experimental versus certified planes versus LSA versus certified. So choose who you want for the numbers, but it is interesting. The thing about sport pilots that turned, especially a lot of the volunteer organizations off, is that the data was really noisy because there's so few numbers. In 1 year, you might have 3 fatalities, and that means that it's 10 times as dangerous as a private pilot. And the next year there's 0. So what do you do? Because the numbers are so small that it's not statistically significant, but nobody cares about that. So they just care about how it looks.
Having worked for not aviation insurance, but working for an insurance carrier for 30 years, I don't know this, but my guess will be that they're going to probably come out of the gate killing a mosquito with a sledgehammer. They're probably going to inflate their rates because they just don't know what the risk is going to be. And they're going to err on the side of caution. Well,
don't you think that like a lot of the airplanes that are experimental that are going to be available as the same airplane as an LSA, they're going to have at least some information on? Like if Sling decides to sell their airplane as an LSA, you'd think that they'd have some amount of information to like base something on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. And from the sport pilot side, I know that all they care about are your hours, and which puts in the same category as being a private pilot. Again, let's put aside instrument commercial, things like that can cause reductions, but just comparing to a private pilot, all they care about are the hours. And I even had that when I bought the egg, because I was like, if I have 1 hour in it or 300 hours, what do you care? And they're like, basically, once you get 5 hours, they don't care. It's all the same rate. And
well, this is something as midlife pilots we have to be thinking about, because we're not all headed towards some pinnacle of health, that is unimaginable from where we are now. So, I
mean, I am, but
yeah, I mean,
both us and the planes, we're just preserving the decline.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's basically a corrosion X for pilots, but yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just curious about.
Are we back to the bore scoping conversation?
Right. By the way, just quick, I just want to throw this in here real quick. Scott P says, I've been listening to Killing Zone after last week's podcast. And what he means is the book by Paul Craig. Please go check it out. If you don't know what it is, you'll like it. He says, I was amazed that someone tried to recreate the Top Gun inverted scene and it didn't go well.
I don't remember that one. I don't remember that.
I thought that was about Mark's debriefs. Yeah, that was the one thing I got from Killing Zone, was there were a lot of those that were like, hey, watch this. And it's like, the 17-year-old stalled a plane at 300 feet over somebody's house. Like, there was a category of those that were.
In the South, we say, hold my beer.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. I thought redneck famous last words were, hey, y'all, watch this.
It's that and hold my beer. It's two different ways to go about it.
That's pretty good, Mark.
That was a pretty good Southern accent.
I mean, it sounded like Midwestern Southern, but it's like how, if you go to a foreign country and the person that's native to the country, they kind of go, whoa, that sounded pretty good. They're basically saying that was vaguely.
Yeah.
Is
North Carolina the South?
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Florida is not the South. Well, northern Florida is the South.
Yeah.
But
it is tough though, because I grew up in North Carolina, and so.
But you grew up in hill country, right?
No. Well, I would depend on which parent I was staying with.
Okay.
So I had one parent in the Piedmont and one parent in the mountains at different stages. But yeah, I mean, you guys don't even know this, but I briefly went to elementary school in the same town as the mythical Triad. The Triad is where I'm from, ultimately. But yeah, I don't even know where I was going with all that. Just to say that when I went to New York, people were like, "You're not from here." When I'm down south, people are like, "You're not from here." So I don't know, but yeah. So I would like to, on the advice of the private chat that I just saw with instructions from Ted, I would like to now very naturally segue to Mark's video.
It's funny to me that the professional in the building here is the one that's
double headers.
Just referring to the private chat, and
Yeah, I'm just sending it. Yeah,
But it's like jazz. He knows when to break the rules.
Yeah, that's right.
breaking the fifth wall.
Just play the right note.
Wait, the fifth wall.
No, Mark, I'll
fourth
just
wall.
lead this out by saying, look, if you guys haven't seen Mark's latest video, Mark has you have a tremendous YouTube channel. And you've made a lot of really great videos on that channel over the last few years. Your latest video is by far my favorite video that you've made. And so I know, as a person who also makes videos on YouTube, that is the kiss of death to the algorithm. When you really love something that you've made, and you really try to tell a real story authentically and actually take time to cut it properly and think about how it's sequenced and how it's presented, and really try to get all of that together, and you put your best foot forward because you just really like the story, those are the videos that will do the absolute worst and just go completely invisible. And it's just the spite of YouTube and the algorithm. So I just want to say, in spite of all that, I'm here to say on this podcast that video was amazing. So this video is your breakdown, essentially, of your experience on the Fisk approach, arrival. And it's you and Ted going through it. And I love the way that you go back in time and forward in time and present in time. I typically don't like things. My wife laughs at me when we're watching documentaries, and like the Inception kind of ruined a lot of filmmaking for a lot of things, because now everybody's like, we're just going to needlessly time jump to just whatever.
Right.
I'm typically just tell the story, linear time, because I have a small brain that doesn't work very well. That video, though, the way that you piece time together and would go back and refer to things and then bring it forward to the present and all that, it was masterfully done. You always talk about, I'm not a creative. And I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. You are absolutely creative. That was a top-notch video. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I learned a bunch of stuff. And it's the first thing, and this is the comment that I left, it's the first anything that I've seen where it actually made me want to fly the Fisk, because everything else I see, I'm just like, well, this seems just miserable. Why are people doing this?
Well, thank you. I will say that every so often, even a blind squirrel finds a nut, right? I mean,
a blind nut finds a squirrel.
Blind nut does find a squirrel too.
I mean, I guess it could happen.
I think that proves my point.
And welcome to episode Information Whiskey. Yes.
Right. So, but I really appreciated the way that Ted went about trying to say, hey, I just did this, and here's what I learned, and here's the help that I can provide. And I thought it was really, really helpful. And I don't know what made me think to cut it the way that I cut it, other than I was watching Flight Chops do a similar video, a debrief of his instrument when he finally passed his instrument check ride. And I'm like, oh, maybe that would work. Let me try that and see what happens. And that's what I did. I'm okay. I'm going to go through sort of, it is kind of linear time in that it sort of starts at the beginning and then ends at me landing, but I intersperse a bunch of stuff, a bunch of commentary along the way that, anyway, I don't know. I don't know why it worked. I had the idea in a fit of, oh my gosh, I'm going to try this idea. I worked on it like for 7 days straight and then lost the video.
Well, okay. You didn't lose it. You like rendered over it.
Yes, correct. I rendered over all of my originals.
So this is like, that one. Okay.
Yeah. And so, I mean, Ted was actually incredibly influential in recovering, because one of the things I do is every flight that I make, I record every flight I make. And then I do a very quick cut of that flight and upload it to YouTube to review, to like look over, well, is there anything that I want to do differently? And so I had that. And Ted was able to help me extract that in sort of full resolution. And then from there, I could plug it back into what I was working on. So,
So you didn't get all the angles, but you saved what you'd already done.
Yeah.
So I left a comment on it saying that it was the best Fisk debrief on the internet. And
that's in the thumbnail now too.
But there's a lot of YouTubers that will publish their arrival on the Fisk arrival. There's a lot of them, but nobody has put it into context with going back and like you did with your discussion with AJ and with Ted and putting context around each aspect of it. And I just thought it really painted a three-dimensional picture, basically, as opposed to somebody saying, yo, we're next, watch the plane in front of us as if they rock the wings and let's try to go for runway 3. There was just a lot more context around it.
Well, the thing about it, Mark, that was especially great is all of the things that are the iconography of the Fisk arrival experience, rocking your wings, landing on the yellow dot, all of that stuff. That's what's so fantastic about the video is it basically none of those things happened. yet
you had the least
had
iconic flight ever.
Right. But that's what was so great is that all the things that are emblematic of the experience. In fact, what you did in this sort of outlay is to say, oh, those things are actually not important. And what you took home from the whole thing as being the greatest moment of pride about the whole thing was maintaining 1 mile or whatever it was, just being in trail responsibly, not by ground speed, by air speed, and doing it right. Just have, and also it showed the prudence that you went through beforehand to practice, to know your numbers and to test your plane at that altitude and to make sure that, and I would imagine a lot of this stuff you've probably already done for your instrument work anyway, but you still just went and just made sure like this is how I'm going to be rolling for a while. So I just appreciated all that. And so Ted, your input was really great in the whole thing because you were sort of the, it meets all the sort of hero's journey things, right? Like Ted is sort of like this, mentor that comes along the way. He's not necessarily mentoring. He's just inspiring you and being there to do it and helping you check yourself. And the fact that he was kind of giving you the sort of, you can do this kind of thing. And you were just soundboarding with him and you guys were figuring out what's important and what's not important. It was actually just a really good story, irrespective of the Fisk arrival. It was somebody that's prepared. It's the classic tale, right? Of, I'm embarking on this thing and I'm leaving the known world into this new known world after going through this sort of transformative thing. It's really cool, man.
Well, that happened entirely by accident. I did not plan that.
Good.
I did not go through and say, oh, the hero's tale. Let me figure out how to make that a part of the video. It was more like, I'm going to cut it here because that makes sense to me. That's it.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's the archetype of story that your brain already understands anyway. So you were just, that's great.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It was fun. It was a fun video to make. And it's one of those things where, once I had the idea, I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. I had to see it. I had to see what it looked like.
You're creative. I'm sorry to tell you.
Yeah. I saw about 12 drafts of the video in between and, with notes and, as it progressed and I felt bad because I kind of volunteered you for this whole thing of let's do a debrief and now you have to stitch the video together. I'm going to give you raw video from my flight so you can use 2 seconds of it. And you're going to have to make a whole story out of this whole thing. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, actually that idea that you had of doing the debrief with AJ was like, oh, okay, I can do this. Okay. Now I understand how I can put this together because I think without that, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
I think this video is going to, and maybe just within the midlife pilot community, but I do feel like it will inspire people who have been sitting on the bench, not wanting to jump into the Fisk approach or Fisk arrival to do so now.
Well, I hope it doesn't inspire the wrong people to jump in, because that could be bad.
Well,
look.
I mean, they look and see the effort that you went into to actually read the NOTAM. And there was a lot of examples of people, not a lot. There was a few people that you could, I forget the tail number, but the guy that took off from the
01 Romeo. Yep.
Yeah. We don't have those people in the midlife pilot community. They just don't exist. So
No.
we're good here.
But I am looking forward to the sequel of The Taxi.
Oh, the taxi is something else. I can't believe how long we taxied.
How long was it?
Well,
It was so long.
I mean, in actual time, it was, I think, 12 minutes. But
Okay.
it felt a lot longer. And so I'm half tempted to just show the taxi and give commentary over the top of it.
I kind of wanted to see that actually, sort of like a director's cut piece or something, because it's you've gone through so much to get there, and you're talking about this insanely long taxi where you're eating a whole meal on the taxi or something. I honestly thought that I thought that you were saying that I thought the taxi was 45 minutes or something.
Oh, no. It felt like
What about the
did, because
departure?
that's actually something I want to include in the next video too, is taxiing in and taxiing out.
What about in the bathrooms and the urinals?
No, the departure for me, we were taxiing literally for, I think it was almost an hour.
Oh, man.
When Evan and I flew in. Yeah.
Well, so I left at an odd time. I left on Tuesday night after the air show. So it was not super crazy crowded.
Got it. Okay. I left Sunday morning.
When I was just looking to see if I posted a video and I haven't, but when I departed Osh, it was trying to get out before the weather got even worse. And once I got to the taxiway, I basically just parked on the taxiway for a while because there's nobody else there. And so I kind of got lucky on that departure. There was I didn't, although it was kind of disappointing because I wanted to line up side by side and do that whole thing. But at least I didn't worry about overheating and all those issues. So,
yeah.
Very cool.
Anything else we need to cover tonight, gentlemen? And Brian,
I'm excited about your multi-training, Ben. Stay with the stay with it.
I'm going to stay with it. I got no choice.
Yeah.
But if this drags on, if this 100-hour inspection turns into 300 hours of inspection time, I may have to find another school and ruin their airplane, I guess. I don't know.
You just go buy your own multi, just get one.
How many tailwheel planes and multis have you like sent to their grave at this point? Yeah.
3 of each.
Yeah.
3 of each. I think here's what I think it is. I think it's the Beast. I think the Beast knows that I'm cheating on it. And so the Beast is throwing a curse on these other planes so I don't forget about him or her. So, I don't know. It's super, super frustrating, but you know what? I would not trade my problems with anybody.
Last thing I want to add is just if anybody out there really wants to rebuild a 4 AGE motor in a 1985 Toyota MR2, I've got one that might need some TLC. So reach out. And it's coming back to, I'm shipping it back here. Anyway, why do airplanes from the 60s and cars from the 80s? And I mean, on one hand, I'm just thinking, wow, I have 2 cars and an airplane for less than the cost of a 2020 Corolla. But also I have an airplane and 2 cars that are valued at less than a 2020 Corolla. So,
man, when I was younger, I had a Miata that died north of LA and spent the night, got a U-Haul plus a U-Haul trailer to trailer it back to San Diego, and then spent the next couple weeks putting a new engine in it after work and had it up and running within a couple weeks. I don't have the energy to do that now. I can't believe that I did that.
You're right.
It's like,
Well, every so often you say some things that you've done, and I have the same reaction. You're like, holy mackerel, man.
I kind of feel like Ted is almost like Forrest Gump. Like
Yes.
he's fought in wars and he's, run across America and he's climbed to Mount Everest and he's.
If you have a 90 or early 91 Miata, you have a short crank problem and you have to replace the engine. This is just a known thing.
That's what she said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
On that note.
Hey, listen, we've had a great group in the chat tonight, and we want to thank everybody for joining us. If you want to watch us make asses of ourselves like we've done the last 2 episodes, you can join us at youtube.com/@midlifepilotpodcast. Monday nights, 8 p.m. is typically when that happens. Go to our website, midlifepilotpodcast.com. Check out the merch. We've got some great shirts in there, dad hats, koozies, you name it. Anything else, gentlemen, for the good of the order?
5-star review.
Please leave us a 5-star review. Man, it really does help us out. Tonight's wisdom, we're going to stick with the IFR theme, if that's okay with y'all. Cleared for the approach means it's time to make math panic look graceful. Signing off. Episode 145 of the Midlife Pilot Podcast. Goodbye, everybody.